Joel, just because I'm going to talk about him and I don't want him to interrupt me because he's going to be humble and I don't want him to be. So Claude is fantastic. This is actually, if you guys were on a little before, you saw him on video. He was he was being hilarious and I couldn't stop laughing, which is why we started right at 8:30, which is amazing. But Claude has so many amazing skill sets. He's written a bunch of business books, all on sales training and real estate success. He's a business coach, mentor. I've known people that have gone through his programs. He's amazing at cold calling sales and really making it seem approachable and interesting and not skeezy salesman, like really fun and cool and awesome, which, no offense, is really hard to do right now. So these are his areas of expertise, and the way that we do this is we're going to be asking him questions. So let's welcome Joel. Can you unmute Claude so I can make sure?
Should I sing?
How are you doing tonight?
I am actually. Do you want me to tell you the truth or lie to you?
I think the truth. I don't know.
I'm despondent, depressed, upset, and I'm a little pissed.
Really? I've never heard that. Okay, how come?
No one's ever opened up a show like this before, have they?
No, definitely not.
You want to know why?
Why?
I had a man come to my house. I'm in Colorado. I have this man. He's an immigrant from Poland. He shovels the snow off my roof, and I got a really high house. He works so hard. And I said, how's your son doing? And he said, my son just graduated from college. I said, oh, that's wonderful. He said, no, it isn't. He doesn't have a job. He's moved back home, and I owe $140,000 for his education for the degree that he can't use.
Jeez.
That upsets me. That bothers me.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Because
how many?
That somebody spent that much money? I mean, geez.
He went to schools are expensive. They're very expensive. And how come I feel bad because how come I'm not getting the message across to people that no matter what you do, you better be great at sales. You better sell yourself to a company to get a job. You better sell your products, your services. You better learn the power of persuasion if you're going to get anywhere in life, in business, because sales is the $1,000,000 skill. And so many kids are graduating from college now, and they're looking for jobs, and they can't sell themselves, or they want to start a business, and they don't have the real skill. Why aren't they teaching sales in college, Jaime? That's why I'm depressed.
You should be. I agree. It's so silly. It's the only thing that actually will earn you something, and we don't do anything with it. Do you find that people are like, what are the ages of people that are coming to your sales training? Like, when do we finally get the hint that sales is what we need?
Do you want to hear something really cool? I am getting a lot of my new clients are millennials. They're coming to an old dude like me to find out how to give good phone, how to go to the bank, how to make money, how to influence others, how to be happy, cold calling total strangers. Mom said not to speak to strangers. And I'm working with millennials. I work with people of all ages. I work with major companies, but I love working with young people because I want to shorten the learning curve. I want to teach them how wonderful their life can be if they learn this one skill of how to speak to people, how to get your point across without sounding like the typical 1964 used car salesperson. Sales is so much fun. I love what I do. I have a great life. I married my high school sweetheart. I have 2 great kids. I have several homes and I'm not trying to sound like a jerk braggart. We have no debt, retirement's funded, everything, and it just came from giving good phone, knowing how to speak to people.
I agree 1,000%, and I want to make sure as everybody's going through, I want you to ask questions as we're going through, because I want you to actually get your answers for your sales and prospecting questions now, because Claude is so smart. So what I want to ask and sort of bring up my stuff, right? So I hated sales because I worked for Kirby Vacuum Cleaner. We talked about this on the interview way back when.
I remember.
Yes, and so it took me a really long time, and I feel like a lot of people are jaded in that. I mean, thankfully the hustlers that are here sort of how important it is, but no offense, nobody ever taught us it, right? For the real way. So can you sort of give us your process on how to get good at sales?
To be good at sales, it's a lot of different things. You use the word hustle. hustle, okay? You've got to have so much courage, okay? To, you know, what's the biggest problem that millennials have? They have all this technology where you don't have to speak to people. You can text them, you can email them, you can do all these things without a direct interaction, okay? And we've lost these skills, and we have to regain them again because we're always going to be in an H2H business, human to human business. How do we get these skills? We have to have a lot of courage for starters. It takes a lot of guts, like the name of my system. You've got to have a lot of courage to be able to pick up a phone, initiate a conversation. You have got to be the squeaky wheel, and if that's not in your DNA, tough, change. Okay, you've got to initiate the conversation. You've got to ask questions. You've got to make that other person comfortable and make them feel like, hey, this is someone I like, someone I trust, someone I want to write a check, do a contract with, do business with. You've got to differentiate yourself. The shortcut I took, Jamie, as we spoke about in the video we did a couple months ago, I had a mentor. Okay, I had someone who could pick up the phone and just do and close people in one phone call, and I've never seen anyone do that. And my biggest criticism, why I was so depressed in the beginning, is nobody is talking about sales. They're all talking about get rich quick, and they're talking about systemization and all these applications and things, but nobody's talking about how do you communicate to another person or a person representing a company or whatever, buyers, sellers, real estate, insurance. How do you communicate to that person so that they say, I want to do business with this person. I feel good about them. I trust them. They're going to watch my back. They're giving me good value. And this is a learning process. You've got to have a system. You've got to learn how to ask questions like a doctor or a lawyer would, but not make that person feel like you're intimidating them or bullying them or trying to trick them and manipulate them. You've got to make them feel like you're interested in them.
So we have quite a few questions coming in right now, and I want to make sure. So I want to go deeper into what you were saying for that. But before we get there, Mano just asked, often you hear digital experts say cold calling is dead. Is it? I'm sure you have an opinion.
Can I use bad language, or is this PG?
Well, maybe make it PG. I want you to, but yeah, we're all PG here.
We have to change chicken droppings into chicken salad. Okay.
I like that. That's good.
Okay, if I got to keep it clean, this is going to be hard for me. My New York's coming out when we talk about sales. You know what I'm saying here, Jamie?
I love that. On the podcast we can always bleep it out. On here I'm like, well, it's kind of live, so I'm not sure if anyone cares. If anyone cares, tell me. Otherwise, don't. Yeah, go ahead.
We have to convert the cold calls, and I teach this in Guts. We've got to immediately convert a cold call into a warm call, because many people who start in any business don't have enough leads, right? We can talk about that maybe later, how to get leads. I'm sure someone's going to ask about that. But when you're starting out in any business, you never have enough leads. You got to knock on doors. You did it with Kirby. I did it with a pickup truck and a bunch of tools in the back in New Jersey. I knocked on doors all day long. Okay, and you have to speak to people in such a way that you break down the barriers, because what happens when you act like a salesperson in the first 15 seconds, Jamie? What do they say? What do they do?
Yeah. No, I just had somebody right before this knock on my door, and he was like, "So, have you thought of solar before?" And I was like, "Wow, you're not even a real person." It was like crazy. I didn't even feel like he didn't care at all. He was just like trying to sell me, which was hilarious.
We have to break down the barriers so that person says, oh, this is not just another person who I've heard the same old. By the way, you know I don't believe in giving presentations, and I don't until you qualify the prospect. I don't believe in asking for the order, and I sure don't believe in scripts, Jamie. I hate scripts. Scripts are the death of salespeople. I'm going to be controversial tonight.
I like it. I think everybody else likes it too. So Richard was just asking, what's the key to warming up strangers on the phone, or warming them up in general? Because I'm sure you have ideas on that. How do we do that?
Say hello to me, Jamie. We're going to do one of our famous Jamie Claude role plays here.
All right. Hey.
Hi. Is this Jamie?
Yes.
How can I help you?
I I don't know.
You called me.
I need more prospects and sales.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you were going to say, "Gee, you called me."
I know. So I'm confused which person I was supposed to be. I wasn't role playing very well.
Hello, you're the prospect.
Okay, that makes it better.
Say hello.
Hi.
Hey, Jamie,
Yes,
you have a problem.
I do?
You have a big problem.
Okay, what's the problem?
My name is Claude Diamond, and I have a note here to give you a call because you're having a problem. You're not making enough sales selling those vacuum cleaners. True or false?
Well, I guess that's true. Who are you?
My name's Claude Diamond. I teach people how to sell vacuum cleaners and double their process and double their closings in the next 30 days. That wouldn't be anything you're interested in, is it? Would it be worth us
Well,
talking for another 10 minutes and I could give you a couple ideas? Maybe we could go on Skype or FaceTime. I could give you a few ideas how to double your sales in the next 30 days. Would
right
that
now,
be
so you'd
okay?
actually tell me how to do it instead of like trying to sell me something?
Well, I want to sell you something because that's how I put food on my table. But first, you have to see the value I'm offering, right?
Correct. Oh man, you're so awesome, Claude. See, did you guys just see what he did? So good.
I
So
never
this is the thing. Yeah, go ahead. Break down what you did for everybody, because I think that's the thing. Everyone goes, well, he can do it because he's done it for so long.
Listen, I'm the former world's worst salesman. I couldn't give away $20 bills on the street corner in Times Square. I hated sales. You know why I hated sales and why most people do? Let's tell the truth. It's because we were rejected by our peers. Nobody wants to go out there and everybody says, no, leave me alone, click, hang up, call me in 2 weeks. We can't stand that rejection, okay? We have something called an ego and id. And if it's attacked too much, we will do, and I'll scrub the toilet before I make a cold call if they're telling the truth. So what we have to do is play a little game like we're getting back to people, or we have to be creative where the prospect doesn't think we're just the typical salesperson. Most 99% of salespeople, no matter what business they're in, all say the same boring things. Okay, and then the prospect immediately knows in 5 seconds they've shot themselves in the foot, Jamie. They know the prospect knows right away that this is a salesperson.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're already dead in the water. So you have to be a little creative. You have to be a thespian. Think of some different ways to open up and get their attention, capture their interest. And there's many different ways. And can I give away a free book or something tonight to help people? I don't want to
Do I
sell. I
say
don't want
no
to
to
sell.
that? I don't say no to those things.
I have last time on your show I gave away my book, and if anyone watches that video, they can still take advantage of it, The Gut Sales Method. And this time I'll give away my other book, How to Sell with Guts, which is my manual on my system. I don't want to sell anybody anything. I want to give away information so that they have sales and they can go to the bank every day.
I love this. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of questions coming in. I want to make sure people get their questions,
Okay.
but of course they seem like they're surrounding similar topics. So let's start in prospecting right now because that's sort of the beginning,
Oh,
right? And
I
this is
love
where a
that.
lot
Thank
of
you.
people come in. So one of the questions that we have from Kate, she said, because she sells, she works with seven-figure business owners. So she said, Claude, how do you get through C-suite clients? Networking and warm leads make sense. Cold calling seems forbiddable with these folks. Any advice?
Um, so you mean getting past the guardian at the gate? Is that what she's saying, or getting to the CEO? Is
Yeah,
that the question?
how do you actually, what are some prospecting tactics to actually get them? Can you cold call? And if you can't cold call, what else can you do?
Absolutely. Let's do another one of our role plays. You be the guardian at the gate. I want to speak to Ms. Tardy, the CEO.
Okay.
Say hello, ABC or whatever.
Hello, this is Eventual Millionaire.
Yeah, hi. Is Jamie in? This is Claude. I wanted to see if she could do lunch today.
Who's speaking?
Claude Diamond. Is Jamie free for lunch around 1 o'clock?
Well, no, her calendar is extremely full.
Oh,
But
darn.
maybe
I
we
can't
can,
even tell you the last time I saw Jamie. Oh, man. I really want to go to lunch with her today. Can you put me through to her for a second, though? Just tell her
well,
it's
she
Claude.
doesn't usually take calls right away.
Tell her it's Claude. Tell her it's Claude Diamond about lunch.
Okay, well, let me just send her a quick little text and maybe she can let me know.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, wait, do you know me? If you ask me those questions, Claude, do you actually know Jamie Tardy, or are you just saying that I want to take her to lunch and I haven't seen her in
Is
forever
there
to
anything?
get past?
Well, let me put it to you this way: the guardian at the gate. Do you think she's going to give me or he is going to give me a heart? Do you think a stranger would ask Ms. Tardy for lunch?
Exactly. That's why I'm so confused though. So my mentor always told me to do that, and I always felt really like uncomfortable because they used to say like ask for their name, oh, is so and so there? Oh, they know me or something like that. But do you actually know them or do you not? Because if
If
you go, oh,
somebody,
tell them Claude's calling, and they're like, okay, well, I don't know who Claude is, but then they'll push you through anyway. then you have to explain yourself on the other side, right?
I go, no, I don't. Listen, you can fix everything later. Okay. The first thing,
I love
I,
it.
sales, here's the rule. Sales is dangerous. You've got to be more creative than your contemporaries, than your competitors. Okay. So I'll go on LinkedIn. I'll find out who the CEO, the CFO, whoever I need to contact. I will call up the guardian at the gate and I'll say, I'll use the first name, California style. Say, hi, I want to see if Jamie's free for lunch. Now, the assumption is going to be what? That, oh, he must know her
Yeah.
already. Maybe family, maybe a friend, maybe someone else. So
Mhm.
that right away, their guard is dropped. You're not someone calling, hi, I'd like to speak to the person in charge of aluminum siding. Okay, so you've got to be a little creative. Then when I get Jamie on the phone, I say, Jamie, my name's Claude Diamond, and I wanted to see if you're free for lunch today so I could tell you about my wonderful widget and how it's going to save your company a lot of money in the next 30 days. You've got to fight for it. You've got to be creative. I love great salespeople. I'm the easiest guy in the world to sell, but I never meet creative, interesting salespeople. They all sound exactly the same, boring, manipulative. So I never lie, but I'm very creative. What I said to you in that role play before is, hey,
Mhm.
I can't even remember the last time I saw Jamie.
Oh my
What the
gosh,
hell?
that was a lie. You're right. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember.
I've never seen Jamie. So what I'm saying, the lady who wrote the question, you've got to be a little inventive, a little creative. I have a company in New York that I've been doing Cushman Wakefield, a $1 billion company. I work with their flagship office for 5 years now. They just renewed my contract again, and we even got those guys when they had the same problem. So we brainstormed, we came up with an idea. I think I spoke about this on the video, that when it's raining, the salespeople go out with these little tote umbrellas with their business card laminated and attached to the umbrella. And they go and say, I'd like to give this umbrella to your CEO, Ms. Tardy, please.
Wow, that is creative. Okay,
It's
and just because it's
anything,
different and
you gotta
interesting,
fight.
people get past where they need to get past. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay. Well, can you give us a couple other creative ideas like that so that way we don't feel like, because I feel like we all, even if we come up with creative ideas, we'll be like, that's a little too crazy. I don't know that I'm going to do that.
You've got to do something. You've got to be inventive because people have a suit of armor on nowadays because they're inundated by salespeople, by commercialization. No one woke up this morning and said, gee, I hope Claude Diamond, the gut salesman, calls me up, unfortunately. They did wake up and they said, I have a problem. I don't have enough leads. I don't have enough. I'm not doing enough closing. My salespeople aren't making cold calls because it's too uncomfortable and they don't have a system. I have to find people who have problems. I have to be the doctor. And that's the way I approach people. I pretend like I have $1 million in my pocket and I'm their doctor and I want to cure them. And I just want to go in there and and a lot of people don't like when I say this, but I call it fake it until you make it. You've got to take on a role like an actor. You have to become a thespian. You have to take on that role. We all have that little boy or girl inside of us who's scared. I'm not allowed to use bad words. What's another word? Where they're scared. And we have to take that little boy or girl and put them away, lock them in the glove compartment and say, you know what? I'm a good person. I sell a great product. I have a right to go out there and I'm going to talk to enough people every day. And I'm going to just get to in front of, my rule is, can I get in front of 5 new people a day? And if I can speak to 5 new people a day and say, what's your issue? What's your biggest problem? Jamie, what's your largest challenge? What would you like to see happen with you, your company, in the next 30 days? And if I could solve that problem, would that be a premise for us to have another meeting, or could we do business? Is it within your budget? And I have to go out there and do marketing in any way I can. And I don't know if you want to get into social media tonight a little bit, but boy, that has changed my whole world in terms of getting quality leads.
So I definitely want to go down that road, but let me ask you this one really quick because it actually
Sure.
sort of is a good transition. So, like David he's actually a fitness guy, but he works with super high level people that want to do fitness shows, right? So he was asking, most of my clients come from referral, but I do want to increase my client roster faster. I have this laser focused niche, right? So he only works with people that want to do fitness shows, which are hardcore, right? And he goes, does something like cold calling make sense for me? And that was sort of the thing. Like, what else? I know we're talking about cold calling quite a bit here, but what are those other things? Is cold calling meant work for every sort of niche? And if not, what does?
Cold calling is great if you have a list. Like I work with a lot of real estate people. They can call a lot. There's a lot of people buying, about people who sell homes and rent homes. There's a lot of lists out there, expired listings and stuff. So they can. When I say cold call, I mean there's some clues out there. There's some likelihood. Okay, but if you're just going into graveyards and writing down names and trying to text these people, it's going to be very long. It's going to be a long time before someone answers you back from the graveyard. Okay, so we have to be a little bit more. Once again, let's use the technology. Can you cold call? Do you have any likelihood of the people you speak to that have any relation to the product or service you're selling? What I would suggest is you set up a marketing plan where the leads come into you. We call that virtual attraction. I spend at least 1 to 2 hours every day, Jamie, and I'm sure you do too, doing some kind of social media live streaming. Hell, we're doing it right now, where people are discovering me, where they're calling me. I get all the leads I want, Jamie. I don't have to cold call anymore because people call me, they text me, they email me. Every day I get new leads. And I get that through social media and live streaming. You realize this is the best time to be in sales, and if you have a little bit of TNT, time and talent, you can get all the quality leads you want without spending any money.
Okay, so everybody wants to know how to do more of that, though. So this is the thing. So the people that are on right now, like David specifically in this instance, has a website, has a lead magnet, tries to do more of that. What should he be doing, and how is he getting these potential prospects that do, might need his service? How does he attract them in live streaming or social media or whatever?
And David is a trainer, right?
Yes, but only for like high level fitness people.
High level fitness. Well, what do high level fitness? I would reverse engineer the attention. What do those people look for when they go? Everybody carries a little device in their hand 24 hours. We take it to the bathroom with us. We put it next to us on the dining room table. We put it next to us when we go to bed. What is that device? The phone, right? If you're not marketing to that device so that people can find you, you have to stop being a secret. So you have to put out content, interesting, compelling, contemporary content. So when people go into Google, what are the things that they're typing in, that they're researching about what you do, what you sell? 5 ways to lose weight, 10 ways to exercise 15 minutes a day and feel like you're 16 forever. You have to put out content directly or indirectly so that people see you. And this content, this is where it gets hard. It has to be interesting. It can't be boring. It has to be content on a variety of topics that relate directly and indirectly to the product or service you sell. That topic has to be either on video, has to be audio, a podcast, pictures like on Instagram, you use Snapchat, you use Twitter, you use Facebook, you use live streaming, you use podcasting, you use Periscope, you use Meerkat, you use Facebook Live. We are in the best time now in the world for putting out content to people, non-commercial, contemporary and compelling content. God, I'm on a soapbox. And my God, I'm so enthusiastic about this because I've had I don't spend any. I said this on the video also. I spent $10,000 a month consistently to get leads in the old days in newspapers and radio and all that stuff and mailers and everything. I hear a lot of these gurus out here. They're still talking about doing mailers, Jamie, and yellow letters and things like that. How many people under the age of 25 do you know that go to the post office anymore?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm over 25. Yeah, I totally get it. Well, so how do we determine though? So let's say, so I know David does quite a bit of social media in general, right? So he's on a couple of those platforms. How can he specifically get in front of people to pay attention on those platforms, right? Or how do we, because it's more than just, okay, amazing content. We still need eyeballs. Where do we get the eyeballs from in order to attract the people to even our social stuff?
David, write this down, okay? GOOGLE. Okay? When people are going into content, what are the topics? What are the keywords that they're searching that relate to your industry? And are they finding you? Do you have videos that you're putting on YouTube? Do you have Instagram pictures that are interesting, mind maps and things like that? Are you putting articles out on Blogger and places like that? Are you doing audio podcasts and things like that? Are you doing live streaming when you're doing your demonstrations at conventions and places like that? Are you putting out the content that the people who are interested in what you do, are you putting out this content so people are saying, hey, this David guy is sharp. He has great information. I can't wait till his next podcast. I can't wait till his next video. Are you putting this stuff out? Not every month, not every week. Are you putting content out every day? And here's the killer. It's got to be interesting. It's got to be compelling. It's got to be contemporary, and it can't be commercial. You've got to win people over because you're a stranger, my friend. They didn't wake up and say, I want to meet David, the exercise guy. They woke up and said, how can David help us?
They woke up and said, what would I like to do?
There's no video.
Okay.
Can you see me, Jamie?
So I can't, but I think Joelle said everybody else can.
Okay, here's my favorite beer. My lovely wife, my girlfriend. We just had our 30th wedding anniversary.
Aww.
Just bought me in my favorite beer. Is this the appropriate title?
Well,
it's called Arrogant. It says arrogant,
but I can't. Yeah.
It says arrogant bastard.
Does it really?
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know. So I've had a long day, so I'm going to have a beer while we're talking
Good.
here.
Do it.
Okay. So, am I getting my point across about stop being a secret, put out information? That's what do they want to read about your product? They don't want a commercial. Isn't there many different sexy titles on articles, on videos, on audio that you could put out every day and say, hey, this is 5 ways to lose weight, 10 ways you should use my exercise machine. I have a program that can help your gym expand its membership in 20 days. Things like that. You have to put out this content no matter what business you're in, and people will respond to you. Jamie, all you got to do is go on YouTube. Do you see what some of the diet people, or pick any topic and look for the top people in YouTube? Okay, who owns YouTube? Google. And do you see that I put out a video on Grant Cardone a week ago? In 2 days, I had 1,700 people go to that video. Grant had a challenge about a glass of water. Okay, wow. And I answered it, and I don't know if I've won yet, but I feel like I did because so many people, 1,700 people saw that video. I have some videos on YouTube where I've had over 60,000 people watch those videos. How much did I spend for 60,000 people to discover who Claude Diamond and Gut Selling is? 0.
Wow. Huh.
So my answer, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going. I'm not going to stop you. Keep going.
my answer to David is just, you got it. You can't be a secret. And if you have a limited budget and you don't want to spend it on Google AdWords and all kinds of different ads and things like that, put out content. Reverse engineer it. What do we all do? Jamie, when you have an area of interest, when you want to learn something, we all go to Google. We all Google that topic. We research it. I love videos. I'm video centric. Okay, I always joke I have a face made for radio, so naturally I have over 400 videos on YouTube. Every week I put out videos. Okay, some are. Why are the Kardashians famous, Jamie?
Just a reality TV show, yay!
Why? But what? Why? They got millions of followers. People love them. I don't follow them, but it's not my area of interest. But there is a sliver of people out there who love to see what Caitlin, excuse me, is doing next. Okay, what's happening? They want to know, and they follow them. They're loyal. They're raving fans. What does David need to do to make people come to him? He wants to virtually attract people because of the great content and the way, and people feel like it's not just David the salesman, it's David my friend. They feel like they know him. Why do people, Jamie, you have a tremendous following, and you're the queen of content. You put out so much good stuff all the time. And look what it's done for your business, right?
Yeah, it's been huge. And I want to actually go into Periscope in just a second, but before we do that, Mano just asked, I market to Italian restaurants and pizzerias only. So what's the most effective way for that. So is there, because I mean, I don't know if they're searching up stuff on YouTube or not. Italian restaurant owners and pizzeria owners super
Why not
busy in there.
Why not do reviews on restaurants? Why don't you say the five desserts, the five Italian wines you must try? What never to say? How to order in Italian? What are the five dishes you have to try in any Italian restaurant? How to get the best table? And reverse engineer it. If you're selling to Italian restaurants, put out information that Italian restaurant owners might read, or maybe even their customers will read. Put out information so that they come to you and say, "Hey, I read your article about 5 ways to double your customers on a Monday night. I thought that was a great article. Can you tell me more about what you do, what you sell, what your product is?"
I love that. Okay. Yes, I agree.
Be
I love
creative.
how prolific you are too. You literally like listed like 10 things. You know what I mean? And sometimes people struggle to even get one or two of those things. You're like, do this, do this, do this. Is it just a thing that comes to you, or you've just been doing this for so long?
It's you just have to, you've got to be to be great in business, in sales, in marketing. The one takeaway word I want everyone who's listening is empathy. What are those people you were trying? They're people like you and I. They're no different. They didn't crawl out of the La Brea tar pits and we call them a prospect and they're a different subhuman species. They're people just like us. Why don't we put ourselves in their shoes and say, what is it they want? What are they looking for? What is their interest? What do they Google when they're going on to Google about their business? And are you putting out that content? Are you number 1 or 2 in videos, in podcasts that relate to the customers you're trying to find? And the magic will always happen, Jamie. It's real, but you've got to work at it. It's hard. You got to be consistent. Now, there's something even new that came out just recently. It's called Sniply. Have you heard of this, Jamie?
No, I haven't even heard of it. What?
This is a great application. For those of, some people are probably saying right now, Claude, it's easy for you to say you like to do the creative stuff, but I'm not a writer or a videographer, vlogger. I'm not a podcaster. So say you found something interesting, an article or a video. You can go into Sniply, snip.ly, and it's a free application, and you can take other people's content and embed a banner in there with your name and a link to your web page or to your subscription page or your landing page. So you can there's actually applications out there to help you use social media on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I think that actually might be in part of our program, by the way, because Kendra, the social media person that we had, used to do that all the time. It's so smart to be able to leverage other people's content and stuff like that in order to do it. Oh, write that down, everybody, because I totally forgot about it apparently, and I need to be using it too. So Joelle, actually write that down for me too. So, so new tools I think are really, really important in general, and I know you specifically use like Periscope and live video. Can you talk a little bit about that with like some actual numbers and what you're seeing for results from people? Because I know people get a little worried about like, okay, it's a whole new thing and another platform and all that fun stuff.
We can be overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed sometimes. I'm learning Snapchat right now, okay? Because
I'll have to add you. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I love Snapchat. I'm learning it. It's everybody who has kids is on Snapchat, and the kids love Snapchat because mom and dad can't figure it out yet. I guarantee your son is on Snapchat, right, Jamie?
I don't let him, but no, not yet.
When he's going to his friend's house, he's going on Snapchat. Okay, sure. 24 million kids are on Snapchat. Who can afford to ignore that size and audience? And if you can market to find a way to the Wall Street Journal, all these different all the different magazines right now, Forbes, all of them, People Magazine, they're all going on Snapchat because they want that youth market, because that's the new hot thing. But if I had to say one thing, everybody should be on Facebook. Facebook is the platform of where everybody who's doing social media should get started. You can do audio, you can do video now, Facebook Live, you can do the things we do on Periscope and everything, you can do on Facebook Live, you can add pictures, you can do marketing, you can set up separate business pages, you can link with your friends and family and also attract new people. It's portable, the devices work on your iPhone, your Android, your laptop. It is the go-to advice, and if I had to recommend everybody start somewhere, I would say learn Facebook. And all you have to do, and if you're going, oh my God, I don't want to talk to people in high school and find out they're having potato salad for dinner tonight. But I got to tell you, billions of people every month are using Facebook. So whether you like it or not, you cannot afford to ignore that market. And you can learn everything you want about it on YouTube. YouTube has 1 billion videos on how to use Facebook.
Okay, great. And I think we have a Facebook group, right? So everybody on here knows at least some pieces of it. But like, let's say they wanted to start doing Facebook Live. I did my first Facebook Live video the other day, and I know you're prolific on Periscope and stuff like that. What are you doing that's really engaging people? How long are the things that you're doing? What is the call to action at the end that's working for you? That sort of stuff.
Oh, you said the call to action word.
I did.
This is one of the newest things I'm teaching my clients right now. My call to action on my Facebook page, and I'm starting to incorporate it on other social media. And I don't know if I should share this. This is one of my best new secrets.
I love you saying that. Share it. You have to now. I mean, you already know that.
Now I have to.
It down. Go.
I use scheduling software. What do you use, Jamie? Schedule Once or something like that?
Yep.
Okay, I use Time Trade, and for those who don't know, this is just an online calendar where your prospects who want to engage you, I invite people for 15 to 30-minute conversations. So they go on my go-to button, okay, on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or whatever. They click on a button, and they can schedule with me for a free consultation. People are virtually attracted to me. They are setting up an appointment with me. And I am now in the perfect sales environment, and I do one more thing. Everybody who sets up an appointment with me has to go on video, Skype, FaceTime, or Facebook Messenger. Why do I do that?
To talk to them? I don't know. What's the reason behind it?
Because face-to-face is we don't have to get on an airplane. I don't have to get in a car and drive through traffic and spill coffee between my legs and buy someone an expensive dinner and listen to them say, I'll think about it. Now, everybody I meet with, they set the action button, they set an appointment with me. If I put out enough good content, I'll say, how about 15 minutes? We'll do a Q&A. Maybe we'll find a way to do business. Maybe I can help you solve your problem. You don't have to buy anything, no commitment, all transparent, all organic. And now, but you have to do one thing. You have to go on Skype, FaceTime, which is the Apple application, or on Facebook Messenger, which is also live video, because I can now record it and send them a recording. I can transfer files or give them something for free, and I have that face-to-face, which is always the best environment in sales. Okay, so every day I do face-to-face meetings with at least 5 new people every day, Jamie. That is the hustle that you said about in your first slide. These are the things that you do, the time I invest. These are the things I do. If I can speak to 5 new people face-to-face, using social media, putting out content, and using the technology, I can crush it all day long. And I don't care what product or service you're selling, you have to use, if you're not using this technology, if you're ignoring social media, you're going to be a foregone conclusion.
See, I love especially how you compare it to before, because I think we're getting a little too, I don't know, soft on how long this stuff normally takes, right? So I think our expectations are too high into what we actually should be doing. So you're like, okay, I used to spend $10,000 on advertising. I used to have to like drive and pay for people's dinner. And nowadays we don't have to do that at all. And yet we're still like, I can't do it. Can you poke people or like hit them and let us know, like, if we're trying to do 5 every single day, is that enough? And like, what does your ratio have to be in order to close them?
To me, having my own business, working from home, the technology allows me to do it. The only thing I have to do, and I don't care if you're in network marketing, insurance, real estate, whatever, coaching, whatever business, you better speak to 5 new prospects a day. You better design a marketing plan that gets you on the phone or on video on Skype with 5 new people a day. When I work with a client, that is the minimum. They have to talk to 5 new people. That's 25 to 35 a week. That's a minimum, Jamie. And if you want to succeed, my mentor Max used to say, everyone wants success, but few are willing to pay the price. This is the price you pay for freedom. The freedom not to worry about money, the freedom to be with your kids, the freedom not to worry about bills and go to sleep at night not thinking about money, the freedom to just live your life the way you want to. Okay, so you have to hustle a little. Big deal. So you have to learn a new application, BFD. I can't use bad language tonight. So
Yeah.
what? When we say hustle, what do we mean? We mean reinvent yourself, be creative, be dynamic, be brave. Sales, business is about brave, having the courage to do the things that other people aren't willing to do. That's why I call my system guts, because it takes guts to do this stuff. And I got to tell you, after a while, it becomes easier, it becomes fun, and all you got to do is set the content and get the prospects, set up the environment correctly on video, set up scheduling, and then use a system of questioning where you're stroking, you're nurturing people, and they say, I like Jaime. I want her to be my coach. I feel good about her. I trust her because I've read her webpage. I listened to her podcast. I love Eventual Millionaire. There's something about her. I feel like I know her. You have bridged the gap with people by using the social media, and you're living proof that it works.
Mm-hmm. I'm so thankful it works for sure. What do you suggest for somebody that's like online retail or e-commerce that doesn't have to actually do sort of the one-to-one closing side? Do you have any suggestions on that? I know you mostly work on the prospecting and sales side.
I'm not sure if I understood your question. I'm sorry.
So like let's say they're selling Joby actually has an online website and does Amazon for rock climbing equipment.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
And so
Yeah, okay.
what do you have, if you have any tips for him specifically without that direct talking to a sales prospect on the phone, what would you do?
Okay, same thing though. Put out articles about rock climbing. 5 people who survived a fall. 3 things you should never take with you on a rock climbing expedition. 10 questions you should. Do you trust your partner when you do rock climbing? Can you buy this product reviews? Things like that. What is the content that those people want? Put out a magazine, put out a newsletter, put out blogs, articles that people read, and then they can segue because there's a trust, there's a familiarity. Then you say, hey, I have products that I sell that I believe in, and here's my eBay, here's my Amazon account, go here and check them out. See, they want to buy from someone they'll trust. Don't we all, when we buy something, a car, or go to a doctor, or even a barber or something like that, don't we ask our friends for a referral? Don't we go to Yelp before we go to a restaurant?
I do every time.
How powerful is digital is word of mouth today. If you just throwing your stuff up on Amazon and eBay and throwing it up and it's got pretty pictures, it's just not enough. You've got to do the groundwork so that people follow you, and they'll be so loyal. They will buy if they feel they can trust you, they will buy your products because you're giving. You've interviewed Gary Vaynerchuk, right? You had him on your show.
Yep, I saw him 2 weeks ago too.
Gary is great, and Gary said something very unique in his book, Thank You Economy. We've got to stop asking and tell people, hey, just trust me. You're dumb. I'm smart. Buy my stuff. Ooh, almost said it. Okay, you've got what Gary says, and I believe this. I believe this. We've got to give some more, give value. Okay, be totally transparent with people, and they don't mind if we make a living as long as they feel that we're accountable and that we can give them good value, and the products we're selling. They feel, there's also something called reciprocity, Jaime. If you give people and you give some more, people want to help you. They want to support you. They want to see more of your content, and they're willing to pay for it eventually. Why do you think I give away every time you interview me, do I sell anything or do I give away something?
You give it away, and we're like, we love you, Claude. Exactly.
That's good, and I want you to love me, but I want you also to find out who I am. I'm a stranger to too many people. Who's this crazy loudmouth guy, okay, who jumps up and down and wears moose ears? But I want people to say, hey, Maybe he's got an answer for sales and marketing. Maybe he's what I was looking for. Maybe I found a straight person in a very unstraight world who can help me grow my business, double my income. Maybe he has some good ideas because he was willing to share this information with me first before he said he said let me give you something.
I love that. We have a couple other questions. I know we have to start ending soon, which goes by so
No,
fast
too
when I
much
talk
fun.
to you. I know, my gosh. All right, so we have another question that came in from Richard that says, what's the key for going in for the kill in the closing and actually asking for the sale?
The key is first it's a great question. I'm a believer in transactional analysis, and we're not going to get into that tonight. That's another show. But basically, the $1,000,000 rule. Did I share that on the last show? The $1,000,000 rule.
I don't remember.
You've got to
Share
make
it now, because now you can't not tell us. We're all sitting here waiting.
it's my mantra. I have to ask questions. I have to stroke and nurture those questions. I have to get information from the prospect. I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a professional interviewing my patient or my client and get them talking more than me. Something very hard for me to do. Okay, the prospect should talk more. But what we have to do, if we want to kill it, if we want to close them in one phone call, or maybe one or a premise for another meeting. So we have to make them emotional, because here's the rule. It's the $1,000,000 rule. If you learn this rule and you practice it and you internalize it, you have a blank check in front of you the rest of your life. Here it goes. People make immediate business and social decisions emotionally. They will justify them academically, logically later on. And I always tell the story, and this happened about 2 years ago. I think I told it on the video. We're driving out of the Costco parking lot, and there's a man with 4 little kids behind him. The man's holding a sign that says, "I've lost my job. My kids are hungry." I told my wife, Claudia, isn't that a nice name? I told her, pull over, and I gave the guy a couple bucks. I said, feed these kids. And the car behind me did the same thing. I never saw it was an instant reaction. It was totally emotional because it was hungry children. It was a sign. It was a scam, I learned later, but at the moment, it was very emotional. And as I drove the car down the road, I said, well, I started to calm down, and I got more logical. I said, I hope it's not a scam. I hope he really feeds those kids and everything. But instantly, I reached in my pocket and gave that person money. That's what you have to create in sales, that trigger, that emotion. But then you have to justify it intellectually, because your product has to serve a purpose that makes sense. So even if you're a very good salesperson and you can get people very emotional, you still got to make sure that they have the value there after the fact. That's how you do gut selling.
We have 2 more questions. So to follow up on that one, do you always get them to say yes or no on the phone, or do you give them like a 24-hour thing before they make the decision, or what's sort of that end follow up?
When time frame, there's a couple things when you qualify people. It's money, it's decision making, it's the need, the urgency, the motivation. But probably the one most salespeople ignore is the time frame. When I speak to somebody, I always set a time frame. A lot of times the prospect will have this great conversation. You're doing all this free consulting. They're picking your brain, and they'll say, you know what, Claude, call me in 2 weeks. Send me some contracts. I'll take a look at them. I'll think about it. And the ever famous, I'll speak with my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You don't allow that. You have to be the person in charge. Remember, you're the doctor. You're the expert there. I go to people and I say, look, it's okay to say no to me. I don't mind if you don't want to buy my product or service today. But if we're going to do business, I'd like to set up. And I know you want to look over the paperwork and everything. I'd like us to talk again at 4:30 today, and we can find out if we're a good fit or if we're done. Or would you rather just say we're done right now? I do something called firing the prospect. Okay, we are free at last, ladies and gentlemen. We got to stop. If they're emotionally involved and they see the value in your product, you set a time frame for the next meeting, or a time frame when you're going to get back to when they're going to get back. You're going to get back to them. You can't just leave it open-ended anymore. You got to put a value on your time, knowledge, and energy, and you've got to set time constraints in every sale.
I love this. Okay. I wish we could go on forever. All right, we have one more question, and then I have a question for you specifically that I ask
Uh-oh.
everybody. So I know. Dun dun dun. So Cindy says, I own a service business where people come to the office for appointments. This business is run by 4 people. What's working right now is referrals, donations, fundraisers for organizations, Groupon, Yelp ad, Facebook, and constant contact right now. What's the best way to increase sales?
Uh, Once again, what are you putting out for them so that you're standing out in the marketplace? What are you different? We're in a competitive world. What is it that you're making? What differentiates you from your competition? Okay? How are you making it so that they can contact you? Are you following up with people? I send video emails to every prospect. Are you offering free information, free products? Are you creating incentives for these people to get to you, to
She does teeth
contact you?
whitening too, by the way, if that's helpful, so that way you actually know what the business is.
Say that again.
She does teeth whitening.
Oh, okay. What's the emotion of teeth whitening? Okay. What are the emotional triggers? Do you want to make yourself more attractive? Do you think if you have grungy teeth, that's going to help your sales or attract somebody of the opposite sex? Do you think it's going to help or hurt your social life? This is a product that can change the way you do business, the way you interact with people, your social life. It can do so many things. I would sell the emotion of why do people want whiter teeth? Because it's more attractive. It can help you in all different facets to make more money and to live happily ever after. I would sell stories or videos like that using humor or documentation or before and after pictures. I would tell stories. We've got to tell interesting, compelling stories all day long to people, not just features and benefits. Tell the stories that relate to your products and make it so that the prospect wants to ask you more, wants to contact you, wants more videos and content from you. That's what I would do.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, I know we have to start wrapping up. I wish I could keep going. I know there's a couple questions that we didn't have a chance to get to. But I want to ask you this. Oops. While actually, before I ask you my question, I'm going to ask everybody that's listening so they can come up with it. What's your big takeaway? So everybody has loved this, by the way, Claude.
Oh,
So
thank
one of the guys, he's gone through 12 weeks of Hustlers. He's doing another 12 weeks. He said best millionaire interview call so far since I started the program.
uh,
So
that
just
makes
so
my
you
night.
know,
You've made my day.
seriously.
Thank you. I love that.
Even
That's all I want to
everybody's
hear.
screaming how much love this interview that like even Joelle posted in Facebook and everyone's going, oh my gosh, it's amazing. So just so you know, I know you can't see it all. But everybody that's listening, I want you to say what were 1 or 2 things you learned tonight. And while you're doing that, I want to ask Claude something. All right, I know we went over a whole bunch of stuff, but what is the one thing you would tell every business owner? Most of the guys in here are looking to make $10,000, $20,000 a month. So what's the one thing you would tell them to go do?
Send an email to mentor@mac.com so I can send you a free book so sales can be easier and more fun on the way to the bank. Mentor@mac.com. I want to
That's
give
your
you a
email
free book.
address? Mentor@mac.com. Wow, that's impressive.
Thank you. mentor@mac.com. I want to give you my book. I'll give you anything you want. Just ask. Send me an email. I'll send you the book digitally tomorrow. I know you got a lot of people on this call. The thing I want is if I hear from Jaime that a week or two from now, a couple of you are using my system of asking questions, of reinventing yourself, of becoming the thespian and the therapist, and just doing some of the things we talked about today. If I hear some success stories, you've made my day. That's all I want to hear. I want other people to have fun in sales. I want them to have the financial freedom that we all want. I just want to hear a few. I just want to hear a few success stories. That's what I want to take away.
Oh, okay, you guys, challenge. You have to say accepted, everybody listening. So I'm going to read through the takeaways so everybody can hear it and so you can understand what they took away too because they love it so far. So Jamal said, firing the prospect, that's absolutely amazing. I agree. Best call so far. Claude is the man. Richard
Thank you.
said, I know I need to make more calls. Kai said, I learned 5 prospects every single day. Kate, be creative, get noticed. Content, content, content. It's David. Danielle said, talk to 5 people every day and put time frame on the offer to close the sale. Uh, Perfect. Then make emotional and be creative, said Richard. Put a time constraint on sales. It's awesome. be empathetic, and connect with customers and emotional hook points. So everybody is going to change what they actually do. And most of the people in here do sales already. So you're just helping them increase what they're already doing, which I think is huge, which saves them time. And they're going to prospect more because you kicked in the butt, which I really, really, really appreciate. So, yes, everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. So thank you so much, Claude. Everybody's saying this has been such like one of the best ones ever. So make sure to pat yourself on the back because Claude, it has been fantastic. I know I have to wrap up and say a couple of things, but thank you so much. If everybody could be clapping right now so you could hear it, it would be
No,
awesome.
let me clap for you guys, and let me say thank you to you, Jamie. And I want to say everybody who's listening, you are working with the sweetest, the nicest, most intelligent coach I know out there. And you guys are lucky to work with Jamie Tardy. She's great.
I didn't pay him or anything to say that. Thank you so much, Claude. That means
You're
so
welcome.
much. We
You're
haven't even
welcome.
met in person.
Because
So
I know
awesome.
you care about these people.
Oh, heck yeah. Yes, definitely. Oh, and I really appreciate that you can actually see that. That's so amazing. But what's so great is you don't even know them and you care about them too. That's why we are able to be with amazing, fantastic people that actually care, like you said. And that's why it's really important for everybody that's listening to go sell. So make sure you send them an email. We'll post your email address in the thing. And take a couple days to email them back. I totally understand. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. But I really, really, really appreciate it, Claude. Thank you so much. And
Thank you, Jamie.
every and everybody else, make sure you're determining your active actions. Remember, no inputs, right? Especially for you new hustlers. I know that's sort of something hard. No Facebook on your phone, all that fun stuff. What's one productivity hack you can do, and make sure we're looking at our vision every single week. I hope you guys all have a fantastic time. And Claude, again, 1,000 times over, thank you. If there's anything I can do for you, please, please, please let me know. Awesome. Take care, guys. I think poor Claude got muted. Take care, guys. Have a fantastic week, and we will talk again very, very soon. Bye.